Alright, so this is my Volcanic Tempest OTK 3.0. It's currently the one that I'm playing with right now. I've been experimenting with different card combinations, trying to see which one fits better, because I still have the weakness of back row. So I've been trying to incorporate more back row hate into the deck. Wish I could put it into the deck, but because the way the deck's designed, it's hard to put back row hate on it. I have Absorbing Jar and Green Kava. I've been experimenting with them. They do have the ability to get rid of back row, but Green Kava, you gotta get rid of 2 cards, and they have to be set. Doesn't apply for face up. Then Absorbing Jar has the ability to get rid of this as well, only set, not face up, but your opponent pluses out of it, so kind of counteracts itself, especially when Absorbing Jar will typically be done on your opponent's turn. But anyway, Lava Golem, good for getting rid of any monsters that will prevent you from attacking, in case you're trying to do your Volcanic OTK. It'll prevent you, it'll help you get rid of anything that can negate spells and traps, monster effects, anything that's a problem, that's monster based, that would hurt the deck and cause you not to be able to do what the deck is capable of doing. So it comes in handy. Let's say your opponent, summons a Draco Sack or something, you could get rid of it with it. Can get rid of Xian, Assault Mode, so on and so on. Plus it's a 3000, so it'll guarantee that your opponent will have a 3000 for Infernal Tempest. Grinder Golem will allow you to pretty much activate Infernal Tempest in 1 turn. Control, drop it, get 2 tokens, attack, take 3000 points of damage. Infernal Tempest. Infernal Tempest can be activated during the damage step. The activation and resolution of the spell card is during damage step. So anything that can stop a spell card has to be able to be played during the damage step, like a counter. Battle Fader, defensive hand trap, obviously, plus it has 0 attack. So if you give your opponent a Lava Golem, you can't summon any monsters the turn you summon it, unless it's special summon. So you give them Lava Golem, and your turn, they take 1000 points of damage. And then if they attack you, could Battle Fade, especially if they summon more monsters trying to OTK you could Battle Fade to survive. And then when it's your turn, you'll switch it to attack. We'll attack Grinder Golem, not Grinder, attack Lava Golem, take 3000, and Infernal Tempest, you get the idea. Volcanic Counter, Kirin, they combo together mainly, as well as using Magical Merchant to help you mill the monsters and get to your spells and traps, and hopefully you get the Volcanic Counters in the graveyard ready, set, go. You want to get multiples of Volcanic Counters, so that way when you take damage from 1 attack, all 3 will activate and they will all resolve. Your opponent will take the amount you took times the amount of Volcanic Counters. Typically you want 3, so that way they take whatever damage you've taken times 3. You want to take 2600 or higher points of damage to be able to, OTK your opponent with 3 Volcanic Counters. If you have 2 Volcanic Counters in the graveyard and take 4000 points of damage, obviously that's more than enough, because that's 8000 right there. Kirin, if you have one on the field that gets destroyed, like card effect, for example, you could drop the other one from your hand onto the field, then get the first Kirin's effects and Volcanic Counter, so that we have the field, that we have the graveyard set up, and if your opponent summons the monsters and kills your Kirin by battle, you can send another Volcanic Counter, and that's how you can get 2 Volcanic Counters in the graveyard in 1 single turn. That way, so when you take damage, your opponent will take that same amount but times 2. Mariner Might, that's so that way you can steal back your Grinder Golems or Lava Golems for whatever you want to do. One combo would be to summon Grinder Golem, tribute 2 monsters in front side field, give him Lava Golem. That way he has Lava Golem and Grinder on his side of the field. then you discard 2 Mariner Mites and steal both of them back. You can attack your opponent, deal 6,000 points of damage. You can exceed summon with them into a rank 8. You could also use the 2 tokens you have on your side field. Discard a monster to special summon a quick draw synchron and synchron on, synchron into a drill warrior or a junk archer, whatever you have in your extra deck, right? That you can make with quick draw, and that right there is over 8,000 points of damage in a turn. So that right there is an OT game. The fact that you can use tokens for synchro summoning, it comes in handy with quick draw. Obviously, you summon 2 quick draws in one turn. You can overlay and make a Zenmail, and then Zenmail can pop your opponent's face down cards. So as you can see, there's some cards in here for just run back roll, but they're mainly in the extra deck. Unknown Synchron, because you contribute 2 monsters in your opponent's side field, give them Lava Golem, and then special summon Unknown Synchron, and then attack, take 3,000 Infernal Tempest. You get the idea. Another thing you can do is, while your opponent has a monster, I like to do this, summon Unknown Synchron in defense mode, then summon a Grinder Golem, get 2 tokens, tribute Grinder Golem in my opponent's monster, and give him Lava Golem. That way he only has 1 monster side field, which is Lava Golem. Since now I have Unknown Synchron in defense mode and 2 tokens on my side field, I attack for 1 of the tokens, take 3,000, play Infernal Tempest. You know the idea. Then in main phase 2, the last token I have plus Unknown Synchron, I can Synchron make Formula Synchron, draw a card. Since the only cards that are spells and traps in this deck is Infernal Tempest and DD Dynamite, I have a better chance of drawing a DD Dynamite. I might get an Infernal Tempest, but that will slim down, the number of cards left in my deck for me to draw from, and hopefully it's just the DD Dynamites I'm trying to draw, so now I can use them to win me the duel. Then I can use a Mariner Mite. If I have a Mariner Mite in my hand, discard it, take back the Lava Golem that my opponent has, and then use it with Formula Synchron, and I can go into Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Trees, if I want. That way I can have a 3,100 on my side field that my opponent has to deal with. A good defense is a strong offense, you know what I mean? Or a strong offense can be a good defense. So another thing you can do obviously is tribute 2 monsters in your opponent's side field, give them Lava Golem, right? Then special summon Unknown Synchron, then use Mariner Mite to steal back Lava Golem, and then synchro into Giga and Castle, and I have a 3,100 beat stick you can use to hurt your opponent with. So this deck has a couple of little combos, couple little plays. Mariner Mite is good because it grabs zombies and fiends. Lava Golem, Grinder Golem, they're both fiends. But if you go up against a Dark World deck like Rafa or something like that, a zombie deck or something like that, you can pretty much take it away. So you already have something that can help you against those types of decks already in the deck. And then of course you got tuners, so you can synchro and stuff. So that has synergy. Marshmallow, good because it deals your opponent 1,000 points of damage. The thing I like to do with that is set it. My opponent attacks, it takes 1,000 points of damage. Then on the next turn, I summon a Volcanic counter. I overlay, make a Zen main. So if they make the mistake of warning, one, they just lost 2,000 life points, and they helped me set up Volcanic counter's effect in the graveyard because Zen main is a fire monster. So if they attack me and I take damage, I remove Volcanic counter from play. And since I have a fire monster, which is wind up Zen main, they'll take damage equal to the attack I take. So they pretty much will hurt themselves more than they hurt me. But if they don't, obviously, if they try to destroy Zen main by attack or effect, the first thing I do is detach Marshmallow because I want to keep the Volcanic counter and Zen main together, because I typically want them both to go to grave at the same time or one after the other. So I always save it for last. I always want to send Marshmallow first. So that's just my strategy. That's what I do. If you want to do it differently, you could do it differently, but that's what I like to do. Magical Merchant, of course, helps you get to spells and traps faster, since there's only 6 of them and they're just multiple copies of the same cards. A lot of monsters, you send them all to the graveyard. Tip with Magical Merchant, what you're trying to do, you're trying to get the volcanic counters in the graveyard as a backup in case the one DD dynamite is not enough, and your opponent and the lava golem, if you give them lava golem, still not enough to end them out. If they attack, volcanic counter pretty much will finish them off. So it's like a magic ceiling but in the graveyard. Then we got Skullmark Ladybug. Helps with mitigating the fact that you take 3,000 points of damage to play Infernal Tempest in the first place. So gaining life points is important. Plus it comes in handy with helping you make sure you have enough life points to survive when your opponent attacks, so that way the volcanic counters can do their thing and, you know, beat your opponent. Also, they have their 4 stars with 500 attack, which means the Breeze Dragon can bring them back. Then you can go into an XYZ play and make Exciton Knight, which is good for getting rid of your opponent's back row. So that comes in handy. The Breeze Dragon, obviously you can grab Marshmallow or Volcanic Counter, bring that back, and synchro it into Black Rose, which also helps get rid of your opponent's field, so that way you can try to go with the combo loft. The Breeze Dragon combos with like Battle Fader. Summon the Breeze Dragon, bring back Marshmallow, for example. Now you can synchro up into Scrap Dragon. Use Scrap Dragon, get rid of a monster, or get rid of back row. You could do the same thing with the Breeze, Battle Fader, you know, the Marshmallow, for example, right? And you can go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, use its effect, get rid of all your opponent's monsters. Especially if your opponent tried to OTK you and you Battle Fade to survive, you can go into the Breeze Dragon, bring back Marshmallow or Volcanic Counter, whichever one, and then go into a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, and then just get rid of their monsters. You can use Quick Draw to make Drill Warrior, Junk Gardener, Junk Destroyer, or Chevalier de Fleur. Chevalier de Fleur, once per turn during your turn, you can negate a spell or trap. That comes in handy, especially if you're trying to pull off the OTK. You might want to be able to prevent your opponent from playing Mirror Force or something. Anything that can stop you from performing the OTK. Junk Destroyer helps you get rid of back row or monster. Drill Warrior works good combo with Skullmark Ladybug. Also works good when you're trying to set up the volcanic counters by discarding volcanic counter graveyard, so that way, you know, you're wide open for an attack, and if your opponent attacks, obviously they're just gonna hurt themselves. But most people don't notice what you're doing, don't notice the volcanic counter in the graveyard, or sometimes they just forget. But if they notice volcanic counters in the graveyard, they typically won't attack, which is great because that's automatic defense for you. Because just because they choose not to attack doesn't mean you can't attack them. Most of the monsters in this deck have 0 attack. Like that has 0 attack. Battle Fader has 0 attack. Some monsters got low attacks, like Marshmallow got 300. Volcanic has 300. Look at that. Skullmark has 500. Merchant has 200. And then you got 1,000. You got 700 there. You got 1,000 over there. You got 1,000 over here. And then, of course, the grinder tokens have 0 attacks, so you have a lot of monsters with low attacks, so you can guarantee you'll take a lot of damage from attacking your opponent's monster and then activating the volcanic counters effect. So you don't have to worry about your opponent attacking and killing himself. You can attack him and kill him. So triggering the volcanic counters effects are not difficult. Definitely not difficult. And Junk Gardener, good for, you know, controlling your opponent's monsters, because while you know, let's say your opponent has Lava Golem, you made Junk Gardener. During his turn, if he enters battle, you just activate the effect to switch Lava Golem to defense, and there you go, and that helps you stall. That way Lava Golem will slowly burn him. If it's destroyed, of course, you get the effect to switch the battle position of a monster type. That helps reduce the chances of you losing life points and losing before you get your DD Dynamite trick, because you want to draw into your extra dynamites